I'm going to have you go ahead and put it at the top, put it on the screen. You mentioned in your book called The Wounded Womb that the womb is a gateway between worlds. Can you expand on that for our audience, please?
Well, it's the place where Osar, the Osiris, resurrects, the spirit of Osar. There's one of them, they talked about Set cut him into 16 pieces. But there's also a story of Osar drowning and then coming out. That was the first baptism. The womb is a segue between the ethereal world and the physical world. That's the doorway. That's the original Stargate. But now she doesn't treat it that way anymore, because the bleeding and the hemorrhaging, even in your Bible, in Mark, he talked about a woman who was bleeding for 5 days until she touched the robe of Jesus. Even in Leviticus, they speak about the fact that it was a disease. But women today embrace it as, you know, the white woman who she was bleeding constantly. She came over here and found out that the woman wasn't even bleeding at that time. And she said, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. What's wrong with you? So that's a degenerative part of the feminine principle. It's actually in the fall of man, the true fall of man, the degenerative cycle showed itself with the woman hemorrhaging her eggs. There were rituals that the ancients did in my book that actually activated the egg. It didn't spontaneously burst out. She activated it going into a ritual to prepare for the seed of her husband. She didn't just bleed every day, bleed every month. It's ridiculous to think that hemorrhaging all your nutrients is somehow empowering, which is what they want you to believe. It's not. You're hemorrhaging nutrients. Why do you think that you become cramped? Cramp is the signal that you are missing something in your nutrition, in your body. Why do you think that your emotions change? It's because your body is going through a change that is not natural. It's unnatural for you to bleed. And anybody telling you that somebody hemorrhaging every month is somehow healthy is ridiculous. Why do you think that women who are athletes stop? They force their masculine when they're in their cycle. They force the masculine, which means that testosterone takes over for them to deal with the stresses they put their body through. And everybody has testosterone. Women start with testosterone, but there is something called the aromatase process that changes it into the spectrum that we call estrogen. Estrogen is a spectrum, it's not just one thing. There are 4 different parts to estrogen. So that aromatase process is what's happening in men today. And the foods that they're giving to men are creating the aromatase process in the young children and in the boys. Why do you think that the numbers of people at the Gay Pride Parade keep growing every year? You think that's an accident? Okay, so yes, the womb is a gateway. It's a gateway, which is why she must prepare herself before she goes into having sex. Why do you think that people who have spontaneous sex, say they meet, they haven't had sex, and boom, she gets pregnant, why do you think the child comes out superior? Because the seed is not wasted. In other words, the man's seed, if he's, losing it consistently, it becomes what we call back in the day dog water. But real sperm, and it's maybe delicate for you, sister, but real sperm actually coagulates, and it's like Jello. Healthy sperm is like Jello. It's in lumps. It's coated in a protective material so that once it enters the vagina feels it as a foreign object. And so the vaginal liquids attack the sperm. Well, when the sperm is coated, because it's so powerful, that material protects the sperm from the antigens that the vagina kicks in to protect itself from the sperm. And then 9 times out of 10, depending on the signature that the male has in his mind. Say, for instance, if the man is in his passion, his desire energy. Desire has a particular wavelength and frequency. And if he's in desire mode and he's going to get his, what they call it, I guess, your bag, and you're going out there and you're fighting every day and you're desiring to do good, and he's charging his sperm, and the sperm is charged with a male child. If a man is in his feelings now, that's a whole other energy dynamic, and he, when he impregnates, creates the girl.
Wow.
So there's no, oh, everybody's a female until it becomes male. That's bullshit. That's feminine. The male decides. The Y chromosome is the desire, the Y chromosome is actually the free radical. The Y chromosome decides how the society moves forward, which is why you have to destroy the male. Because as the male grows in spirituality and strength, his Y chromosome now carries on with that signature, and it passes on into the womb. And your womb contains the mitochondrial Alexandria library of all life. And because his desire or his feelings activate, you now carry that signature, that programming he gave to you, you bring it to term. And the both of you now have had birthed a genius.